All right, let's get to it here. So explain how the Dawes plan was established to rebuild Europe. So you can draw the plan if need be. So where do we start here? Where do we start? Where do we start?
1924.
All right, so you got the year frame. All right, good job. So 1924 to 1929. All right, good. Tanner, where do we start here?
The U.S. gives Germany money to rebuild its infrastructure and industries.
Yeah, good job. So the United States is sending loans, right? So loan, cash to Germany. Why? Why were they sending money to Germany? What's that? To look better on their part. For their economy. What was going on in Germany? Obviously, they lost the war, but what were some of the issues that they were facing? Noah? Okay, why? Yeah, what was that treaty that was established that took away a lot of their land, restricted their military, you name it? Griffin? Yeah, the Treaty of Versailles. Good job. So the United States is loaning money to Germany to try to repay, maybe pay back those reparations and try to rebuild after World War One. Yeah, so Germany's going to build up their what, Tanner? You said it?
Infrastructure and industries.
Yeah, their infrastructure, their industries, right? Good. And we all know this as what? Their economy. All right, so after they have businesses and industries being created, they then can make a profit off of it eventually, right? So what are they going to do with that money? They're going to tax it, right? They're going to tax some of these industry or these products, these finalized goods, and try to make revenue off of it so that they can pay back who? They can try to pay back, Griff. Yeah, good job. So France and Great Britain. These are two countries that were mainly trying to force Germany to pay back these war reparations, the war guilt clause, and punish them for World War One. All right, so Germany's paying back, let's just say here, money as reparations. Good. All right, so France and Great Britain with those war reparations, that money that they're getting from Germany, what are they going to do with it? Noah? Well, first they're going to do what, though? Yeah, put in their economy, right? So they're going to try to rebuild their infrastructure, especially France. I mean, they face the brunt of the war, and they're going to rebuild their industries, right? Okay, which is, we know, is their economy. So they're going to tax, obviously, some of their goods and products that they are making. And obviously the revenue, the profit from that, they're going to send back to who? Who? Yeah, the United States. Good job. And why are they paying back the United States? What's the reason for it? What's that? War debt. Yeah, good job. So money in war debt that they took out, that they were buying and purchasing, okay, even loan money as the war was occurring, right? So the Dawes plan, it was short-lived, 5 years, but this was something that was going to benefit Europe. This is going to try to rebuild Europe from the ground up after World War One. And for the most part, the United States is really the ones shelling out the money. They're the ones that are going to try to rebuild Europe. And let's face it, all these European countries and the rest of the world, because these three powers, France, Great Britain, and Germany, were the strongest industrial powers at that time. So what does this do? Well, this makes it dependent on U.S. manufacturing. right? This makes the rest of the world dependent on US funding, loans, really the economy. So this is beneficial for the United States as we're setting up sound business partners, right? And we can trade with these countries and they're dependent on our products, right? And at the same time, what else? Why else do you think this plan is beneficial? Not only just rebuilding Europe, not only obviously stimulating our economy and our industries, but why else? What was the big fear at this time that could spread all across the world, especially in America, right, Griffin? Yeah, communism. Good job. So this communist revolution that already is occurring in Russia, that's what pulled them out of the war, right? We already talked about the fear, the paranoia traveling across the United States with these unions forming after World War I, as these workers are demanding better compensation and working conditions. Well, this is also a great plan to prevent communism from spreading in Central Europe. Does that make sense, guys? So if Germany, who's right in the center, smack dab of Europe, if they are instilling these capitalist ideals, okay, investing in this type of economy, chances are communism will never travel, right? It will prevent communism from entering Central Europe because this is bringing in an increased prosperity. This is bringing a higher standard of living where it gives people opportunities for private business and entrepreneurship. Does that make sense? Okay, so not only did the Dawes plan just help the United States with manufacturing and rebuilding Europe, but also this is preventing communism from spreading in Central Europe, right? This is preventing communism from entering into Germany and maybe carrying over through all Europe, right? We'll talk again after World War II. We do something very similar, right? And this is a process, a policy called containment. So this is very similar at this time. Okay, again, short-lived, right? Kind of falls apart after our depression, which affects the rest of the world. But this is a way to try to contain communism as well. All right, is there any questions on that, guys? No? All right, terms for today. Last two, I promise. This is it. This is it. I know I've been saying it for a while. But this is it because I have your study guide for you today. Yeah, review tomorrow. And then we have test Thursday. So we got the Weimar Republic and hyperinflation. There you go. There you go. And for some reason, Google's not working well. And I can't attach the study guide.
Canvas is like.
Okay. So I'm not the only one having the issue then. You can't even open it.
No.
Well, you can open it, but then it takes a while to open.
I had to do it last night.
Really? Is it working better for you now after you deleted it?
I mean, not really, nothing floating on it.
Yeah, it just spins and then it makes a move, but then it just spins.
All right. Yeah, that's the same issue I'm having. That's why I was getting frustrated up here. My tool wasn't attached.
Had a Krabby Patty for breakfast.
A Krabby Patty. I don't know about this early. Really?
Seem a little grumpy.
Well, after this isn't working, I am a little grumpy. Well, I guess I'll just print them all out and you guys can write them out, huh?
Actually,
Uh-huh.
that's a lot better.
Oh, yeah, if you print it, I'll go make copies.
Well, I guess that's what we might have to do.
I'm doing both.
We'll have a bunch of copies, so that's the thing. No,
Study guide's like 7 days.
I gotta check actually.
You're crazy.
Boss is Dawes.
What?
Nothing. You guys are saying what? Huh? What?
I guess just.
Where are you getting that?
I got 3.
What teacher, Mr. Bowman, do you know what teacher does lunch detention?
What?
Do you know what teacher does lunch detention?
I think Rupp does.
Oh, period. Okay.
No, Rupp.
All right, I'll take that. Yeah.
Rupp and I think the BT teacher.
No.
I think.
Yeah, or that's.
Well, I don't know how the remote kids are gonna get the assignment, but oh well.
No, not really bad. Yeah. It's only 2 periods. I thought it was gonna be like that. I don't know. I don't know how much. Well, then. I looked at that.
And then they want to storage.
Ms. O'Neill, how many copies should I make?
I mean,
I'll probably need them for the rest of the day if it's gonna take a while.
and then it could be done next year, like,
Oh, yeah. How about I'm gonna make 20 right now. And then we'll just do some more then after, I guess. All right, there we go. So they're on their way. Do you mind getting them for him, Miss O'Neill?
Oh, I would love.
All righty. Okay, here we go. Let's go over this, guys. So what do we have for the Weimar Republic? What do we got? Go ahead, Tanner.
The Weimar Republic was essentially Germany's new government after the war.
Yeah, good job. Good job. So after World War One, okay, well, let's just talk during World War One. Who was the emperor, the Kaiser of World War One? What was his name? You guys remember? It is really going back to beginning. You can check in your vocab. Tanner?
It's something Wilhelm.
Yeah, you got it. Kaiser Wilhelm II. Good job. So he was the emperor of Germany during World War One, and we talked a little bit about him. Obviously, he fired Otto von Bismarck, who unified Germany with the Franco-Prussian War, and he was really out of his power at this point, because after the war, the Treaty of Versailles set all these penalties on Germany, and Germany had to come up with a new form of government, and that was a democracy. So they accepted the Weimar Republic, which was a democracy. Okay, so they're voting elected officials into office, right? So no more do you see like an emperor, a king in Germany at this point. So do you think the Weimar Republic was favored? So again, they were formed right after World War One, and they actually had to seek or adhere to the demands of the Treaty of Versailles. So once they accepted it, do you think people in Germany were happy with the Weimar Republic? Why not, Noah? Yeah, right. So they're the ones accepting the penalties, right? This form of government was the reason why the Treaty of Versailles was established in Germany. So if you think about it, these people that are electing these officials in, they're thinking, wow, they just accepted the terms of the treaty where we have to restrict our military. We lost all this land, lost our territories. Okay, our industries are all gone, right? We have to pay these reparations back, billions and billions of dollars. That's going to take us almost 100 years to do so. So in all reality, you think people were happy with the Weimar Republic at first? No, not at all. And a lot of it because they agreed to the terms of the Treaty of Versailles. And we'll mention here soon, as Germany okay, eventually sees this depression like the United States and the rest of the world, okay, this is going to allow for some extreme parties, extreme political parties to come to power, right? Because people distrust this form of government. All right. They're not happy with what was going on with the economy, with hyperinflation, which I'll talk about here soon, and the way they try to combat against the depression in Germany. All right. So the Weimar Republic really not looking good at first. Okay. Again, because they're adhering to the demands of the Treaty of Versailles. And many citizens thought, well, this is exactly what the Allied powers want. And the Weimar Republic was almost like a puppet of the Allied powers in a way, because they're just accepting the terms of defeat, really. Okay. And that they'll ever see that type of power again. All right. Hyperinflation. What do we have? Hyperinflation. So after the Dawes plan crashes because of the stock market crash in the United States in 1929, which we'll get here soon enough, what is hyperinflation here? Go ahead, Chloe. Okay. All right. So hyperinflation, this is the result of just printing more money, right? This is the result of just printing more money. And if you print more money, what happens? Kenny, what happens if you just print more money? Is that a solution to anything? Yeah, good job. So when you're comparing your dollar to, let's say, another country's, it's going to be less valuable, right? And if you just continue to print more money off, well, that worth of the dollar is going to be pretty much useless, right? And this actually occurs in Germany at this point, right? After the stock market crash, after the Dawes plan is no longer obviously working, okay? And this is actually what it looks like in Germany with their dollar, because it's worth nothing anymore. To try to combat against the depression, they thought the best solution is just to print more money out. And that's what the United States actually did after the Revolutionary War. And it didn't work out whatsoever. They go through a huge depression. The standard of living of people goes way down. And rather than using money for what it's useful for, obviously, if you see a dollar on the street, are you going to pick it up? Yeah, you're going to pick it up, right? Unless there's poop in it or something. I'm just kidding. A poop dollar. That's a terrible joke. Don't do that ever. All right. Anyway, yeah, you won't see that. If you see some money on the streets, chances are you're going to pick it up. And it's valuable, right? But in Germany, after the hyperinflation, parents just started to give their kids stacks of cash to play with because it was worthless, right? They thought, well, rather than buying you toys, which are really expensive, we're just going to give you stacks of money to play with because they're worth less than the toys. And here's some examples here. Oh, you need to start your fire to heat your home? Just use the stacks of cash as kindling because it's cheaper than actually going outside, right? Actually going outside, it's just going to waste your time trying to pick up sticks. So just go throw the cash in to start the fire. Can you imagine doing that? What the heck? What's that? Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, and here's this guy going to the grocery store to get just eggs with a huge wheelbarrow full of money. Man, I'd kick him over and take all his cash. But I mean, obviously at that time, it's worth nothing. It's worth nothing. But this is what hyperinflation does to an economy. Here's this guy. I don't even know what he's doing. Probably just building a fort in his house. All the cash he has. These kids are making a kite out of the cash. This guy said, the hell with putting wallpaper up. I'll just put money on the walls. Yep, so similar pictures here. I don't even know what these guys are doing here with it. Yeah, so crazy stuff, crazy stuff. These kids are cutting it up. Oh my gosh. Anyway, wait, here's the kite. Here's the kite. They finally got it. Yeah, all right. But with hyperinflation comes even more economic issues, right? Germany goes through depression 10 times worse than what the United States did, even in 1929, moving to the 1930s. I know what you're thinking. We'll get to that chapter here soon, but how can it be worse? Well, in Germany's case, they see the rise of a dictator, Adolf Hitler, right? And people's rights being taken away from them. And we'll mention that here soon enough, but this is what's going to occur eventually in Germany. And this is where I want to leave off because this is going to pick right back up in Germany when we start World War II. Okay, with this depression, with this hyperinflation. Okay, obviously, many people are looking at today the way we're spending cash at the government level and thinking, how is this right? Right? If we just keep throwing dollars into the economy, it's going to have some kickback, right? It's going to cause some issues, especially just going to the grocery store, just buying everyday items. And if you think about it, prices on everything are rising. And a lot of that is due because of increased spending. If you throw more dollars out in the economy, chances are you're going to have increased resources. You're going to have increased prices of everyday commodities, everyday goods. Does that make sense? But anyway, I thought those pictures were kind of interesting. See what those kids and people did in Germany with all that excess cash that really did nothing. So at this point, the United States dollar was worth $4. It was called 4 marks, though, in Germany. Right when the depression hits, though, $1, $1 is worth 4 trillion marks. So can you imagine, like I said, these people walking down the street with wheelbarrows full of money? That's what they needed to buy a loaf of bread. That's what they needed to buy, let's say, a carton of eggs. It's ridiculous. Can you imagine being the register, the cash register, just counting all the money? It's like, oh, this is ridiculous. Throw it in the back or something. I don't know. I don't even know what you do with all of it. All right. Is there any questions on that, guys? So again, sorry about Canvas. I don't know what to say. Your study guide will be out. If I get it back up and going, I won't make it due tomorrow. I'll make it due the day of a test. So you'll have 2 days to do it, since it's unfair for you guys, since it's not posting. Does that work? Okay. All right. So again, review tomorrow. Hopefully we get these worksheets, these study guides here soon from Miss O'Neill. And if not, I'll have it posted. We'll review over the material, and then we'll have the study guide due Thursday when the test is. All right. That's all I got for today.